So for everybody else, welcome back to Homeroom. I got Monday, November 2nd. Woo! It's Monday, November 2nd, y'all. I mean, obviously, election is a big day, but I don't even want to start with the election. I want to give you another name to consider. This time, it's the great Reverend Greg Drumwright. I'm going to start talking about him in a minute, but since we are the day before election, it would be irresponsible not to let you know what the latest is. So let's see. Update on Trump's position. He says don't count any votes that don't get counted by November 3rd. He says he's confident in his Supreme Court and their ability to make sure that he gets in office. He said that he might fire Fauci. Good old classic preview of episode number 3 in the season 2 of the Trump campaign. Rallies, what can you say? Rallies have been packed. They have been mask optional. They are, in fact, there's some evidence coming out that they might actually be super spreader events. Now that people are getting sick and we see all the rising and they're starting to do the contact tracing, starting to realize that a lot of these people have been at Trump rallies. So that's definitely an issue. What I also have picked up in my studies of this guy, he is counting electoral votes. He's being very strategic about his vote count. Hold on one second. So he's not playing the popular vote game. He's playing the electoral college game. And, him and his team ain't a bunch of dummies. Also, I heard a strategy come out that he intends to declare his victory at any point that he gets an early lead or he starts to pull out based on the count sequence. What he wants to do is to try to do a quick early victory and do a let's get back to business, as if to discount the entire election. So keep your eye out for that strategy as well. But boy, North Carolina has been a hot spot of voter suppression and citizen engagement. There was a rally that ended up badly, and that's where our guy comes in. But let me get to some of these other things first. So in Texas, you had a bunch of Trump supporters following the Bus Biden. This was their thing. They wanted to let the Bus Biden, quote unquote, lead the way. Bunch of trucks with big Trump flags were driving around, not following as though in the wake, which would be cool. I think that's actually kind of a cool political statement. But what they ended up doing is like surrounding the bus. They were like running people off the road so they could stay in position. Like, it's all on camera, so if you get a chance to see it, or if I drop a link down, you can definitely check it out. But it's a hot mess out there in Harris County. Now, what's going on in Harris County? Harris County is, I think, the 3rd largest county in the United States. It includes a city like Houston. So is there any surprise, or at least let me say for the people of Houston who are my allies, just stay safe out there, because clearly these white boys are acting up. Let's see. Stephen Hotsey is the name that you might want to know. If you're looking into the mind of the crazy white man, look for Stephen Hotsey. This guy is someone who advocated that the National Guard should kill American citizens, among other things. But you check him out, because I don't have time to get into all of that. Shall we talk about finances or COVID? Let's do COVID first, eh? Listen, family, COVID is just getting started. It might not have hit you yet. It might not be a big thing in your community yet. But the wave is coming, bro. So it's time to get very serious about it. Prepare yourself to hunker down. Prepare yourself to not be able to see the grocery store for maybe a week or two. Prepare yourself with whatever you think you might need post-election as the COVID wave comes through. It is, here's the evidence that I saw that really concerns me. You heard me report on COVID spreading in Europe, and it's spreading like wildfire. And I couldn't quite wrap my head around why, because they had certainly been more responsible than the United States when it came to a COVID lockdown and ways to try to keep their citizens safe. Well, research had just come out that there is a new strain that COVID, a cousin of the flu, a more dangerous cousin of the flu, has mutated its strain. And so now there's a new virus. It's got new genetic markers, and it's marching its way back through the country as if never before. So If that's the case, then we can expect to have potentially two viruses making its way across here. So the idea of being, how do you say, diligent with your precautions is going to be more important. So heed my warning, folks. It's coming this way. Fauci got into a bit of hot trouble. That's why Trump said he might let him go, because Fauci, all these federal government guys are actually in a difficult position, because as federal employees, they are bound by law not to engage in partisan politics. But at the same time, your job may call on a fair analysis. So Fauci said something like Biden is taking the pandemic seriously. Trump obviously took offense to that, and now he's talking smack about Fauci. So, it's a funny place to be when you're caught up in that. All right, let's talk about stimulus, immigration, So, in terms of stimulus, we know nothing's going to happen before the election. Now there's a lot of blame game in politics that's definitely making its way to the surface. So there are Democrats who are being critical of Nancy, saying she should have took the deal. They are saying that she's strategically stalling to try to get a bigger package when Biden comes into office. But Biden's not coming into office for a long time after January's inauguration. So that's a long way to wait. People are saying people shouldn't wait. You also have states who are starting to take matters into their own hands. So state governments, in particular, I want to say Colorado is now offering a state stimulus check to the people. It's only to the tune of $350, but the state is saying we're going to take the lead and we're going to take care of our citizens. And so big shout out to all the people there. Now, one of the things that I want to campaign for, and nobody's really talking about it, is a universal basic income, a monthly stimulus check for every human being to try to water down the inflation that we've been going through, to help us turn this corner as we move into the new economy, to gear ourselves up for the technology takeover, a lot of jobs, including delivery. So it's something that we need to at least talk about or seriously consider. I'll give a couple hot topics. So people of Poland have risen up. Bro, I saw a video of a significant rally because the people of Poland are not trying to hear these new anti-abortion laws. They basically ban all forms of abortion outside of the case of rape, incest, or the immediate death of the mother. The mother has no choice outside of those three options if she gets pregnant. So the people not having it. So if you see any red lightning bolts, know that is what that piece is about. In the Philippines, what has been defined as a super typhoon has ripped its way through the Philippines, fam. This is the strongest of the year, and this is the 18th typhoon to come through the Philippines this year. Global warming is real. In Turkey and parts of Greece, there was a major earthquake, 7.0. It's got a lot of buildings jacked up. A few people died, so shout out to the people there. I was going to do a thing on the guy who got beheaded, give a little background, but I might save that for a feature or maybe sometime in the near future. What I do want to do, though, is talk about North Kakalaki, though. Imagine you're a young voter, and imagine that you are, going to this Get Out the Vote rally that's being organized by this church. The church is pastored by our guy. Who was I talking about? Greg Drumwright. So you go and you getting hyped up, right? You go into your first election, and they start at the church, and they're going to do this sort of like march sort of thing, So they start there, they rally the people, they got the music and the speakers and everything's happening. You're excited, you're peacefully protesting, if you will, and you're at your first rally. It's great. Along the way, you guys are going to stop at this Confederate monument. Now, y'all not there to tear the monument down. You guys are peacefully protesting. But what your plan was to do was to have 8 minutes and 46 second moment of silence to honor the 8 minutes and 46 seconds that George Floyd had a police officer or three standing on his body, compressing him so that the man couldn't breathe. During that time, at this Confederate flag, the officers, the overseers, the policemen come through. Now, I don't know all the context. I'm going to try to unpack the story over time as I learn it. But as I understand it, the police were antagonizing these people using their chemical weapons in the form of pepper spray. And it's not just the one you get for the little skeet. No, this is like a significant automatic spray bottle, if you will. Then the violence starts to erupt, right? So then people have gotten beat. One lady seemed to have a seizure. Kids got pepper sprayed. I heard a report of a 3-year-old getting pepper sprayed in their face. 8 people got arrested, including the pastor. So they never. The march was supposed to make it from the moment of silence down to the courthouse, which is an early voting location. They're going to bring all those people down there so that they can get to the poll and actually cast their vote. They never made it because the police stopped them at this Confederate monument. Now, listen, if you can't see the poetry, if you can't see the irony, the humor of God in this context, then I don't know why we live in. Because this is an amazing series of circumstances in voter suppression, in power dynamics, in the right to assemble, and the right to peacefully speak. These two fundamental rights seem to be getting, how do you say? Is it suppressed? Is it censored? I don't know, bro. But it's definitely going down. It reminds me of China. You think China has problems? You think China, on the one hand, you see China. I see China and I say they're on that rise, right? China is going to be the new empire as we see the decline of America. But at what cost? The Chinese, you think we have a problem with First Amendment and the right to free speech? Man, I try not to do international news because we got enough going on right here and we got plenty going on in our own community. So let me focus on my man. Shout out to the pastor, Greg, for organizing this event, for standing up for what's right, even to the degree of getting himself arrested on behalf of the people and their right to use their vote and to use their voice. And so keep him in your mind, in your thoughts and prayers, and spread the news about this guy because he's trying to do good things. Now, it's Monday. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Monday's rough. So if anybody's here on this post, just take this message of motivation, you guys. Look, let's try to fire up this Monday. Get you some exercise going. Get your heart rate hyped up. Get your coffee with the extra shot. But let's start the day strong. And so I just want to give you a little bit of juice to say, you got this, okay? This is the beginning of the week, and all we see in front of us are opportunities. You got this, okay? There is an opportunity here for you to take it to the next higher level in your personal development, your professional opportunities, as well as in your social engagements with others. You got this. Remember, there are 168 hours ahead of you for the next week. And I see that there's a chance for you to be more productive than last week, to be friendlier to those who need your help, and to certainly take greater self-care. You got this, yo. You got this. You got this. And I'm out. Peace, 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 peace.